Today is Friday, April 18th, and today I learned that you will fail, and a lot of times you will fail more often than not. And in those times, it's the hardest times when it's the times when you need to be disciplined the most and be perseverant the most and strive the most. And I have two examples. Today I had a softball practice thing and I just didn't do well. If you know anything about softball, I had 4 at-bats and I struck out 3 times. So didn't feel good about that, right? And I especially didn't feel good about it because a lot of the other people who were there are just younger than me. And so it feels like I should be a lot better than them, but in some cases I'm worse than them or just on the same level. And it's just very discouraging, right? Because it feels like I'm behind and I shouldn't be failing this much if I'm this old. But I feel like there are many flaws in that thinking, and I want to share with you what those flaws are. So, number 1, age does not equals progress. Just because you're older doesn't mean that you're more mature. Depending on how large the age gap is of your comparison. Second thing, comparison is a thief of joy. We all know that. Stop comparing yourself to others. Third thing, everyone is on their own journey. So this kind of goes with the comparison. No one's life is the same as another person's life. Every single one of our lives is different. And it doesn't matter if this other person did this thing and you're not, and you feel behind because you're not doing that thing and you're older than them or something like that, right? Everyone's on their own journey, and it depends if you want to truly succeed at whatever thing. It all depends on just how hard you're willing to work, and it does depend on luck, right? It's not all skill, but how hard you're willing to work and how perseverant you'll be. And if you never stop, you can't fail if you never stop. Right? You can't fail if you never stop. But also, failure is a reality. You're gonna fail. Failure is a common reality. You're gonna fail at a lot of things. I failed a lot today. I failed with my softball. I failed with my time management. I failed with driving. I failed at a lot of things today. Even if they're small failures, right? But they hit. For some reason, the way our brains are wired, and we feel the failures more than the successes, right? Or at least that's what I found. So we fail a lot, even if they're really small, they affect us. But one thing my mom was saying is, how is that going to affect the rest of your journey? How's that going to affect how you keep going? Because it doesn't, I feel like I've talked about these kinds of things in so many videos. I heard this quote a while ago, and it was you succeeded, okay, great, now get back up and keep working. You failed, okay, now get back up and keep working. Just no matter what, just keep working. Keep striving, right? No matter if you succeed or if you fail, because even if you do succeed, you're still trying to improve, right? It doesn't just stop there. It never stops. The cycle of improvement never stops unless there's an external break. It's like a positive feedback loop. Right? So in the example of sports, people won't stop playing sports unless there's an external break, such as they get injured or they get too old and they physically cannot keep playing, right? Or maybe an external issue. But the cycle of improvement in and of itself does not break down the process, its own process, right? So you will fail, but that doesn't mean you should stop. And I saw this thing where it's when you're in the deepest hole, in the deepest pit, that is the time when you most need to keep going, because you don't want to stop and stay in that pit, right? You want to keep going and get out of that pit. End on a good note, right? At least if you're going to stop, then at least stop on a good note. But yeah, failures happen in the strive for improvement of things, and it feels bad, right? It makes you feel bad. It makes you feel behind. It makes you feel like a failure. It makes you feel like you can't do it. It makes you feel like you don't have the abilities to keep going. But I think this is scientifically proven. People who think that their willpower is limited and they like physically cannot have more willpower, then your willpower will be limited. But if you believe that you have unlimited willpower, then you will have unlimited willpower. And I'm pretty sure that's scientifically proven. So don't, like, you have unlimited willpower. So if you feel like you're if you fail at something and you feel like you don't, because of that failure, you don't have the abilities to keep going and to succeed at this thing, then that is thinking with a limited willpower mindset. But if you have unlimited willpower, then you can just keep going. I think that makes sense. I hope that's making sense, right? So I guess like the number one thing is that like when you fail at something, just keep going, right? You don't stop when you failed, because that's called giving up, and that's never going to get you anywhere, right? People don't like when you give up. Like externally, just think about a time when someone just gave up at something. Like, it doesn't make anyone feel good, right? Now, I'm not trying to shame you. If you want to quit a sport, or if you want to, like, quit a pursuit of a certain thing, then, like, no shame on you. And there are obviously more factors that go into stopping or quitting or giving up on something than just, like, you failed. There's more factors in that. But don't consider just one failure as the catalyst for giving up. You need to have those other reasons, right? So, when you feel like a failure, you feel like you can't keep going, you feel like you're behind, you feel like you have so much, you're not making you feel like you're so far behind and you're not making the progress to catch up, because that's how I feel right now. I feel like I'm so far behind from everyone else, and I'm barely making progress. Like, I'm not closing that gap. When you feel like that, the only thing you can do is just keep going. And the only thing you can do is just keep striving and keep persevering and keep striving for that improvement. Because everything, a quote I heard from Sahil Bloom, everything above zero compounds. Everything above zero compounds. So even if it feels like your progress is super tiny, and sometimes maybe it's negative, right? But I'd rather have a failure and then I can bounce back from that failure, go one step behind, 2 steps ahead. I'd rather have that than just stay at zero, right? At least do something. Anything above zero compounds. Keep going, right? When you feel like you're so far behind and you're not closing that gap of progress and improvement fast enough, just keep going. Keep going until you can't keep going any longer. And that's kind of the mindset that I've been trying to have throughout this softball thing, because I am, like, I feel behind, and I kind of am behind, and it feels like I'm not making that progress fast enough. All I can do is just keep going and just see what happens, right? Anything above zero compounds. So just keep going, keep progressing, keep giving it your all, and just see what happens. And if you fail, if you ultimately fail, if you ultimately never catch up, then that's okay. Move on to the next thing, right? Or keep going if you can, right? So that's kind of the first thing that I learned today. Like, it's not about the failure, it's about how you bounce back from that failure. It's about, like, are you going to keep going? Even though it's hard. But then the second thing that I was thinking about in applying this kind of failure, keep going mindset is from a Christianity perspective. I'm trying to include more of that into my videos because it's very important, right? But if you are making the effort to be Christ-like, right? And to repent and turn from your sin and kill that sin and just be better, right? Sanctification. It's hard. It's hard, and you're gonna fail every day. You're gonna sin every day. Just the same thing. Like, just how I failed at my softball, I failed at I sinned today. Everyone sins every day. And that is such a, like, oh, you still sin every single day, so then you must not, like, be anything, right? So it's kind of a weird, like, paradox, I think. is the right word. It's just weird. But the only thing you can do is just keep going. Like, in this, of all things, this is the thing that you shouldn't give up on, right? Like, if you're a Christian, like, this is your eternal destination. Like, this is the one thing that you should never give up on. Like, constantly be striving and persevering in the pursuit of sanctification. It's hard, but, like, this is the one thing that you should never give up on, because it's so important, right? That's kind of what I have to say today. This is what I learned today. You feel like you're behind. You feel like you're a failure all the time. You fail every single day, and it's so hard. But the one thing that you need to be doing is to just keep going. Don't give up. And this is such basic advice, but there's a reason why it's basic advice, right? It's important, and it's helpful, and you just need to keep going. And you can build ways for yourself to keep going, and like build systems and build forms of tracking your progress so you can see that progress and have that motivation, right? Teach others so you can see how far you've come. Look back at old progress photos or videos or whatever to see how far you've come. But just keep going. In the successes and failures, keep going. That's what I learned today. My phone's about to die, so thank you so much for watching. If you found it helpful, then I would love a like or a comment. This is the video I posted yesterday. You can subscribe in that corner. If you subscribe, I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye!